Welcome, everybody, to Fireside Cast coverage of RGL Highlanders Advanced Qualifier matches. I'm Xenagos. I'm joined here tonight by Gray. Gray, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Our match tonight is sponsored by another food sponsor for Fireside Cast. You don't want a game on an empty stomach. I know I don't. So, game on a healthy mind and a full stomach with your first order on Factor 75's website. You can use our code, which you can find by typing !Factor into the chat. You're going to get 40% off your first order, 20% off your next month of subscription by going to Factor 75 and using our code. Again, !Factor in the chat. We've got a great match tonight. Order of the Red Lotus versus Animan Studios. Gray, how do you feel about these teams?
Well, I'm super excited to watch this one play out. I mean, these are two teams that all the players have been playing Highlander for several seasons now, especially at this kind of higher, main advanced level. I think both teams definitely have a shot at making it into advanced, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we got 4 teams playing over the course of the next 3 days. Fireside Cast is going to be covering a lot of those matches, and they are all competing for the one singular spot that is left in advanced. Very coveted position to have there. And yeah, all the teams competing, very competitive. They've got a lot of competitive experience in Highlander. Some players, playing all the way up into Invite as well. I know that Eden, who's ringing tonight, has some Invite experience. So we should be looking to see some really good games over the course of the weekend. I am quite excited.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be a really fun weekend. Just so excited to just see all the games play out, especially since it's our first Highlander casting of the season so far. So I'm super excited for this.
Yes, it is our first one. And to commemorate that, we've also got a little bit of a bingo challenge in the chat for our viewers. Hopefully the match and cast will be exciting enough to hold your attention. But if you need a little bit of something extra, you can type !bingo and grab a RGL Highlander bingo card just for this match. There's only 30 of them, so I would do that quick.
Go get your bingo cards. Again, that's !bingo.
The first bingo winner of the night will get VIP on Fireside Cast in the Twitch chat. You'll get a nice little badge next to your name. I don't know if there's any other benefits that come with it. I think there's VIP only chat sometimes, maybe? Who knows? You can skip ads, I've been informed, which, huge. Watching those ads supports the cast and helps us do more of these. Gray, what do you think the results are going to be from tonight's match? Who do you think's going into this as the favorite?
I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a close match. I would say that the slight favorite here is probably going to be Order of the Red Lotus. The reason for that being that their players have played at kind of that super high main level, or even some of them have been playing in advanced in the last couple seasons themselves. Though they might be switching classes, I think there's a couple of them that would fit under that criteria. But I would say they have the slight advantage going into this. Although I don't think Animan Studios should be underestimated by any means, considering what a powerful roster they have with players like Grill, Crump, Zuerto. Just all these players that have just been so standout for whatever team they're playing on. So I think it's going to be a really close match either way.
Yeah, a lot of players on Animan Studios very quickly moving up divisions. I remember some of these players being back in IM not even a few seasons ago. So they've very quickly moved up, shown that they have what it takes to play at the higher levels here, and hopefully we'll be able to showcase that skill tonight and maybe take a victory and come out of here playing in advance this season.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
For predictions, what do you think the scores are going to be looking like here?
I think there's definitely I don't think it's going to be a sweep by any means. I think especially with I would say Order of the Red Lotus probably have maybe a stronger overall roster, but with Animan they have I would say a few standout players, and I think that's going to be a really big key for them. So if those standout players can just continue to perform well, then I think it could be very close, maybe like a 4-3 or 4-2, even in favor of Animan. But it could go either way, honestly.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Asheville is one of those maps where if you have a few key players, if your sniper or your demo or your scout are really popping off, they can absolutely carry a team if they get played around. So we'll see if those standout players are able to deliver tonight, and Animan can come out of this playing around those few players that they have that are really, really strong. I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you, though. I don't suspect that there's going to be any kind of sweep. I'm thinking a 4-2, probably.
Would that be in favor of Animan or Red Lotus?
I kind of want to root for Animan here coming into this over Red Lotus. I know Red Lotus does have a little bit more of that experience, but I like to root for an underdog. I think they can pull it out here with a 4-2 for Animan.
Fair enough. I think I'm going to have to go just opposite of you with 4-2 in favor of Red Lotus. I think that they just have such a solid roster with like no real weak spots. Whereas, I mean, Animan, they have a very solid roster overall, but there are a couple players that maybe don't have as much experience. I think their Ceres, their Pyro, hasn't played since season 10, I believe. And other players are just coming from, like Squid, I think is coming from like lower divs. So I'm curious to see how that will play out. And I definitely think that could be a factor. But I think just with how much experience is on Red Lotus, especially with players like Carter, players like Benatti, who's just been playing amazingly. I believe he won main last season. So just players that have just been doing exceptionally well in the last several seasons. So I think just with that solid of a roster all around, it's going to be really tough for Animan to be able to pull this one out. And I think it's going to be 4-2 in favor of Red Lotus.
Yeah, Ceres, having come back after a few seasons, may come back to punish Animan, because I was checking out some pregame logs, and Eden popped off on Asheville, going like 39-16. So Ceres really going to have to be careful for that spy, and hopefully taking that much time off from the game is not going to end up hurting Animan Studios here. Speaking of all these players, should probably go over the roster for both of these teams for tonight. Do you want to go over your pick for the winner, Red Lotus?
I'd love to. So with Red Lotus, on Scout we have Janachi, on Soldier we have Mr. Kaza, on Pyro we have Discount, on Demo we have Maleficent or Carter, on Heavy we have Adil, on Engineer we have Fingers, on Medic we have Nines, Sniper is Benatti, and then Spy is Edain, who's ringing.
Yeah, and for Animan Studios, on Scout we have Pre-Alpha, on Soldier, Untamed, Pyro, Ceres, as we mentioned before, Demoman is Squid, Heavy is Ness, also known as AC-130, Engineer, Co, Medic, Zwerodox, Sniper is Grill, and on Spy they have Crump. So, two excellent teams. Again, a lot of well-known names that have been playing for quite a while, so hopefully we'll see some of that experience again come out tonight.
For sure. I will say that I have played with several of these players, so I'm going to try to not let any bias go into play for when I'm calling things, but I'll do my best.
Still just waiting for teams to get in here, though. If you have didn't start until 9:45 on your bingo card, we're closing in on that pretty quickly. You might be off to an early start before the match even begins and gets underway here. Again, if you don't have a bingo card for tonight's match, because we do have some RGL Highlander bingo just for tonight's match, you can type !bingo in the chat. That's going to give you a link to a virtual bingo card full of potential things that might happen this match. Again, including a later than 9:45 start. Hopefully we'll be able to get underway soon, though. Just waiting for a few more players on Red Lotus to get into the server here now.
Again, that's !bingo in the chat. It's free. You don't need to put your credit card down or anything.
Gray, what do you think we got to be watching out for teams here? What are you looking to see on Asheville? Things that win games for teams.
I think the pick classes are probably going to be one of the biggest things. I would say combo movement is going to be a big factor as well, but I'm really curious to see how pick classes play into this. I don't know if you remember last season in main semifinals, it was the team I was on against Mommy Men, and that resulted in at the very last second, I believe it was Kyle who got like a huge like 3K on Spy, and that had won them the entire game. And I think just like in that same spirit, plays like that can really be just so game deciding. And so I'm curious how players like Benatti and Edain or Grill and Crump, what kind of plays they can pull out to, win the game for their team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be looking for some aggression here. Asheville, I know a lot of teams tend to take this very passive play style. They're hiding back in ramp, they're hiding in shutter on mids. I want to see teams out. I want to see them aggressive. I want to see them on point, taking these aggressive angles and some aggressive Ubers, hopefully to want to make a more exciting match for all of our viewers to watch. But I do think it does really benefit you on this map. Even more so than on some of the other Koth maps that are currently in rotation. So I want to see that aggressive Asheville play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious to see how the mid fights will play out in particular, just because of how aggressive you have to be on these Asheville mids in order to win them. And it's going to be really important that these teams are very refined with their rollouts, making sure they're not blocking the arrow or anything, making sure that they're crashing for their demo so they get full buff, having their NG get up to bats right away and get the mini sentry up. So it'll be very interesting to see how well these teams have refined their rollout so far in their existence.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were speaking of pick classes before. Sniper on Asheville mids is terrifying. It's that one map where you come out on mid and you have to walk into a sniper sightline. So, we'll have to see if our two snipers here can make some, nice shots on this mid fight, because that 100%, you get a med pick, you get a demo pick on a mid fight, and that completely changes the course of that fight and the course of the round a lot of the time.
Absolutely. Snipers are just one of those things on Asheville that you really can't do anything about. I mean, you can try to play aggressive to just shut them down and let them take as few shots as possible, but it's pretty much guaranteed that they're going to get at least 2 shots off, and that can just be so dangerous.
Yeah, very scary for both of our medics, for Nine and Zuero. So they're going to be trying to keep their heads on their bodies on these mid-fights. It looks like Thug is readied up, and we are just going to be waiting on Order of the Red Lotus here. I believe they're just waiting on one more player to get in the server. Yeah, one more player from Order of the Red Lotus.
I believe they are missing their scout. So that would be Jinachi. So hopefully we get those the last player in, and then we get this going. I think it's 2 more minutes until Highlander time. So get ready to check the bingo card. Hopefully we get it. Oh, it seems like Jinachi's joining the game. So whoever wanted that bingo card, I'm sorry. Doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Jinachi has apparently forgotten to connect according to the in-game chat, and they don't have the right config yet either. So you still got time. We're closing in on less than a minute for that bingo slot. About 30 seconds left.
Can be pretty close. See if they can do it.
It would also appear that the player who made the server reservation is not around, so they are unable to put in the correct config to get this match started. So we're on 1st to 3 rounds when it should be 1st to 2.
Yeah, it's I mean, it can definitely take a while to get these matches set up, especially with matches in particular. They have to have a different config compared to when you're just doing scrims most of the time. Whereas in scrims, obviously you're gonna have the best of 5, whereas in matches you just have halves, which are best of 3.
All right. If you have match doesn't start until 9:45 on your bingo card, you can mark that off. Oh, is Eden an upgraded ringer from Davey C in the chat? I would say so. Looking at preseason logs and also just past experience, I would say that Eden is an upgraded ringer. So if you've got a ringer that's an upgrade on your bingo chart, this is your only ringer. I will also say that we updated our ringer rules for this season in RGL, and in our first Highlander match of the season, they were already broken. So don't forget to put your ringers in match comms this season, and accept them in match comms as well. That's a new rule this season. Don't forget about that. You don't want any of your matches getting overturned, because he didn't put something to match comms.
Now, as Xenagos, is there anything else you're going to be watching for in this with these two teams in particular, in terms of just kind of what sides of the team you're watching, just anything you're looking out for?
I mean, something that is always a little bit of a concern in playoffs. I want to watch because these teams, not necessarily all of them have wanted to play in advance. I want to see if there's any of that soft throwing that qualifiers tend to see. Davey C, I would say you could probably cross that one off, as we are again just waiting for Order of the Red Lotus ready up here, and we are good to go.
And I'm excited for this. Let's see how they do their rollout here. Gonna see both demos gonna be jumping. Looks like Maleficent slightly closer on the mid, and Red Lotus is gonna be playing very aggro here. Bombs coming in from Red Lotus as well, and several players are gonna be wiped. Nines is gonna go down. Zerato's gonna go down as well though, and it does seem like Red Lotus has the point here with both meds dropping. And for Animan, they're just going to back up. It seems like their spy is still in, with Crump being underneath the point. Everyone else is going to be wiped or going back to spawn. Red Lotus taking the first mid fight.
Yeah, very aggressive mids coming up from both teams. We talked about that sniper on mids. Zero got taken down by Grill almost instantly, but Untamed came in here with quick bomb onto Nines and evened out that med diff. You really don't want to be sitting at a huge disad on Asheville.
We see Grill trying to peek through the shutter there. Squid is actually going to get picked off on Bats, I believe that was. That is going to be Adil playing very aggro on the crates and just getting a lot of damage off. Here's Ness peeking the shutter a little bit, not going to get anything. It seems like Animan wants to try to go for a play, but they're just going to have to build Uber. They're not doing a very good job of establishing themselves on ramp. It's only going to be Untamed playing on ramp, no one else being with him. Grill is still going to be on Bats, maybe trying to get a peek. Junachi is going to go down to bleed from pre-alpha, and it looks like this may be a bit of an open now. Maleficent and Edan are down as well, and Benatti's down as well. They're down fourth, so Red Lotus is going to use in. It's not a very good Uber on Discount here. Discount going to be trying to get away and get out through the shutter, but pre-alpha's coming in, and the rest of the team's following up. Animan does use. They probably didn't even need to use on this point, but they're still going to cap this so easily. Crump getting double kill there with the revolver. Very good play from him. And that is going to be the point now for Animan, and they're going to have about 25-30 ad on this Uber.
Yeah, really unfortunate there for Order of the Red Lotus. They had Uber, they had an aggressive stand on point, and they just ended up dropping so many players. Using an Uber when you're down 4 or 5 already is never a good feeling, and we are seeing some very aggressive holds from both teams, which is great to see. They're holding on the point, they're holding into the other team's shutter. Crump had been on a 5k on that last life, so we'll see if he's able to get some more work done now that they hold the point.
Adil's going to go down and shutter with Ness just playing super aggro. That was a very great play, just waiting for the shutter to come open to let that essentially lets Ness know who's there, and then that allows Ness to take that peek into Adil. So that was a very good play. Crump is going to go down, and it looks like they're trying to get Benatti set up on ramp here with about 90% Uber.
Yeah, we're going to be looking to see hopefully a quick exchange as soon as Red Lotus hits this Uber. We don't want to see them waiting around too long. Looks like they're just waiting for some players to group up with their med.
Benatti peeking the shutter, gets Grill down to 16 HP, and here comes the use. They use super early on the side of Animan, going to be using into the shutter, maybe trying to force an Uber a little early, but now Order of the Red Lotus uses in, has a much better Uber, going to push onto the point. Here's goes down. Ness is actually on blue bats right now, and just wiping everyone on point, but it's not going to be enough. And Discount, Mr. Kaza, and Maleficent suddenly go down on the point. Animan does a great recontest through Shutter, and that is going to win them the point. What a play.
Yeah, I mean, Animan Studios had taken that aggressive Uber in, and as soon as that was fading and they realized they weren't able to force Order of the Red Lotus, they had backed their med and demo out quite a bit, so they were able to not lose a lot of players on the full Uber that
Carter's
came
going
out
down
from,
the shutter there.
Red
Adil
Lotus.
goes down as well. That's 2 picks now on the side of Animan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no, go ahead.
Poe's going to go down as well with Eden getting a nice pick, I believe, on red bats. Untamed now going down on blue ramp, and that is going to allow at least a bit of space for Red Lotus to maybe get a pick or something. But with Grill playing all the way back in Toxic, you know they have to be careful about peeking. Benati is going to be coming onto ramp now, see if they can get anything. And here comes the Uber exchange. Looks like they're just going to keep, on Animan, they're going to keep the Uber on the Pyro, just trying to deny it as much as possible. And they do actually drop quite a few players. Seems like there was a bit of overextending in that Uber, a bit of confusion about who is supposed to be on. And now they're just going to have to get out through Shutter as Eden takes down Grill, and that is going to be a pretty clean fight win for Red Lotus. They're going to cap the point, and Animan's going to be just getting out of it. Animan's going to be without about 15% disad, 20% disad. So it's pretty close here. So we'll see if they want to go for a sack wave or if they just want to try to dry push this real quick.
Now, what I want to see is if Animan Studios falls into the classic trap that teams have, where they have a huge time advantage on Koth, with just like a few seconds or overtime left on the cap, and they throw it all away because they are trying to be too aggressive and take
Look at
fights
this
too
aggro
quickly.
play on Red Lotus, playing on the ramp. They picked up Crump, Ko, I think they got Untamed as well. It's Discount and Maleficent actually playing on the ramp. Maleficent is going to go down to Ness, but Ness is quickly cleaned up by Eden. And that is going to be a super clean ramp win for Red Lotus, and just delaying all that time. Ubers are going to be even now, but see how it plays out for the side of Animan, and if they can recontest the point here. Uber does come out. They are going to have their demo jump in pretty wide. Might get this disconnection a bit. Uber's going to be a bit better on the side of Red Lotus, although they are having to flash a little bit with the heavy beam in the Uber as well. Ness going to be pushing out of the Shadow here. Zuerto does go down to Benati, and Discount goes down as well to Grill. Untamed getting a pick as well. And it's going to be a really quick exchange on the point. Pre-Alpha now going down as well. Benati just going huge, gets stabbed by Crump. And Crump gets another stab. Grill gets a snipe onto Nines. There's going to be a super clean wipe against Red Lotus. And Animan Studios looks like they're going to win the point. They do have a few players left. They can maybe do it, but it's about 1 second. I don't think they can. And that's going to be the round win for Animan.
Yeah, those pick classes that you were mentioning earlier are really coming into play on that last fight. I was thinking that Order of the Red Lotus had that with the Uber that had come out from Animan Studios, but Animan takes the fight aggressively, and despite not having their medics, still wins that fight. We're going into our next mid here.
It's like demos are about even on how quickly they were going. Nachi playing a little bit more aggro. Adele just walking right up the right side. I like this aggression from the side of Red Lotus. They are going to get a few picks. However, Ness is going to be playing on the crates, gets 3 kills from the crates, and especially with the mini from Ko supporting and Grill on bats as well, getting another couple kills, actually 3 kills. That is going to be a really clean wipe for them, as that was really Ness and Grill. They just completely wiped them on that mid fight. Gonna see Grill trying to go for an aggro peek on bats, just getting back now. Squid's gonna be setting up some aggro stick. He doesn't get anything though. It gets a bit of damage. And Animan seems like they're holding the point pretty confidently. They're playing with a lot of authority. Kaza's gonna try to go in for a bomb, maybe get something on ramp, and it does look like Red Lotus is gonna have a bit of ramp control now. Maybe they can work something off of that. But now Animan's still just holding the point. Kaza is gonna go down, trading for Crump. And now we do see Benati's going to be on ramp, trying to go for a pick, doesn't get anything just yet. And they go for the sack wave in, they don't get the medic. It does seem like Zuerto's going to be surviving on that, hiding through Shutter. And that is going to be pretty clean sack evasion from the side of Animan. I will say that it seemed like maybe Red Lotus had done that sack a little bit too late, considering they've been holding down with 100% Uber for maybe 20 seconds or so now. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out for them and how they want to take this exchange. With pre-alpha going down as well now, so that's going to be even rougher Uber exchange.
I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Adol on Heavy managed to get launched above the bridge on mid somehow. We got an Uber
Ness
exchange
and the enemy
coming
bats. Gonna eventually go down to Adol there. Quite a lot of chaos going on with Animan just controlling the point for the, really for the entirety of it.
Yeah, I mean, these Ubers that have been coming out from Order of the Red Lotus have not really been achieving what they want to. They're not able to get Animan to use early, and so Animan just ends up getting a much better Uber, and Grill gets a nice shot onto Nines on a 5K right now. going crazy.
Wow, what a dry fight from Red Lotus. It seemed like they had the point, but then Grill just getting so many kills there, and the rest of Animan cleaning up as well, and they just can't cap the point now. They don't want to delay their players, so they're not capping intentionally. And now Animan just with a really clean refight onto the point. Very solid play from them.
Very solid play. They keep the point again. Making sure they don't want to delay those players is huge and really dissuades them from taking the point, despite the fact that Red Lotus hasn't capped the point yet.
Ooh, Bernardi gets a nice shot onto Pre-Alpha there.
And Animan is sitting at a huge Uber advantage, 60% right now. And really, Red Lotus doesn't have time to run a sack. They have to take this dry fight.
I don't know if they necessarily even need to sack, though. They're getting 3 or 4 kills, and they actually dropped Zuerto as well, with Bernardi getting a great shot onto Zuerto. And now Kaz is going to be bombing in, gets a kill onto Saris, and they can't do anything on this refight. They got pick on Adil, but that's really about it, as Grill's going to have to back up off a ramp, and Red Lotus finally get the point. Grill now getting picked off as well, and yeah, it's just super secure fight for Red Lotus. I think really just capitalizing on that dry fight and you know, utilizing that kind of free space they had was really what gave them that point. Just, you know, playing around their best players and just staying solid. He didn't get going down bets there.
Now again, Animan has a lot of time advantage here. I would love to see them run a sack, and that is exactly what they are going to do. But Nine's playing very safe in Shutter. The whole team working to keep Nines alive on that sack wave, and Animan Studios is just not going to be able to get anything out of it.
Yeah, it was beautiful play from Nines, just going through the Shutter there, just kiting it out, knowing when the sack wave is going to happen, and that really takes a lot of heads-up play. I think that can be quite a big difference between what we see in lower divs and higher divs. Just knowing when the sack waves are going to come out, and you know, just having the knowledge of what Ubers are, and just being able to play around them.
Yeah, I think Mr. Kaza playing in on the enemy's ramp and on the roof on Soldier just gives him so much vision, and we
Uber
actually have another
here.
Uber exchange here that doesn't seem like it's going to get much from Animan Studios. We're going to have to wait till the post-fight, but really, Squid is the only one in.
There. Does seem like Ness going to come back in. Zuerto goes down as well, though, and both teams are pretty wiped here. Going to be coming down to individual plays, although it looks like Bernardi cleaning up along with Discount and Mr. Kaza. And Mr. Kaza is going to go down, but gets great few kills there. And that is going to be a side, or pretty much a team wipe against Animan Studios. The win for the side of Red Lotus. So we'll see what they can do on the refight here.
Yeah, Animan Studios is really just looking for this one clean play, but with how much Order of the Red Lotus has been protecting Nines, doesn't look like they're going to be able to get a sack wave or anything like that off to, you know, really take it at a big advantage. They might just be waiting for Uber.
Kaza and Dane just doing so much damage onto the enemy ramp there. They actually got 2 kills just with... I really like this coordination between Edane and Kaza, just with the Soldier spy on ramp and just content picks. But Grill gets the pick onto Nines. That is huge play. That's going to give them huge Uber ad, and maybe they can take a push off this now.
This is exactly what they needed for Animan Studios. They're going to come into this with, you know, 90% ad. Basically, you know, effectively at this point in the game, it's going to be full ad. They take this Uber in right now. Benali's
I don't even know if they need to use.
Seems
like, yeah, Red Lotus just seems to be backing out. They do actually take the Uber in now, but it doesn't look like they're going to get really anything out of it. Seems like it was more just almost an unnecessary force. And see how Red Lotus does this refight here.
Huge reflex from Ceres. He's got to turn around for Edan, though.
Edan coming with the revolver, and it seems like Red Lotus is going to control the point. And now I think Red Lotus can do it. See if Crump get anything, and they can't. Eden with a 7K on the revolver. Ness going to be coming in, doing a little funny derp, and can't do anything. And Red Lotus are going to be taking that round. What a close one. That was, I believe Red Lotus held it down for over 3 minutes, or just for the whole 3 minutes there. Just straight. That was a really great round from them. Just incredible dry fights and refights.
Gritty 2024. There are, in fact, calls for advance this season, and this is the first one, our third mid-fight here. Both teams, again, very aggressive.
And Tame going to be going behind. Tame going to be bombing in now, and Tame doesn't get anything with Discount, gets huge reflect. And the minis are going to be fighting each other. So many kills going off from each side. And it does seem like with Pre-Alpha getting 3 kills. Now look at those spy revolvers, just back and forth, kill after kill between these two, Edane and Pump. really just showing that they're the best in the business in this div and that they're advance ready. Edane is going to win the fight though, does a little spy crab, and then gets a dead ringer off. It does seem like they didn't fool him and just got out of that fight, and what a win from Edane. And now that it's going to be Red Lotus winning the point as a result.
Yeah, I will say, Ko had rolled out Shutter and just threw a mini down and was wrangling it and putting out so much damage, and it stayed up for the entire mid-fight. And a wrangled mini on Asheville can absolutely do work, so, you know, Order the Red Lotus does handily win that mid-fight in the end, but they need to be careful for those mini sentries from Ko, because they can wreck your team.
Definitely. Minis are just, I would say this is easily the most powerful map for minis of all the Highlander maps that are in the rotation. And I do like the play here from Animan trying to get some establishment with Grill and Shutter, but he isn't able to get anything and actually lose their pyre in the process. Ness goes down as well as Untamed, going down to Mr. Cause, I believe, on ramp. And it seems like they're trying to take this dry fight. Both teams are holding Uber, but now with Animan being down players, they don't really want to take this Uber anymore. That's just delaying more time for them. Boys are going to be peeking very wide onto the bats here. They're going to be dropping down. Looks like they're doing solo Uber on the demo here. Red Lotus is going to be flashing a little bit more. Edane trying to go in on the post Uber in Shutter is maybe going to doesn't get caught out. Now Ness going to be in the Shutter for post Uber as well. Red Lotus is going to have to play back a little bit here, taking more and more damage. Mr. Cause is going to go down. Benatti is going to go down as well. And it seems like Red Lotus is just going to back out of this. Maybe just go for a refight once they get healed up. See how they play it. But they're just giving up the point here. Maybe just down too many players, don't want to take the fight. I mean, that's definitely understandable. However, Edane is going to take down Ceres, so that's going to be a huge start. Crump going to be trying to go for the stab, doesn't get anything. Actually does manage to damage Adil enough to let Squid finish him off. And so that was actually a good play from, I really like that coordination from Crump and Squid. And Crump now going to get Benatti as well on ramp, just playing alone. And I mean, Red Lotus really just have to fully regroup and just say, guys, chill out, we got this. They just need to fully regroup, not lose any more players, and just get onto the point. Edane just got another stab though. Man, that's kind of the ticket that Red Lotus needs to be able to refight this point here.
Yeah, and they're going to come in right now with the Uber out of Shutter, bringing in Scout, bringing in Demo, and Animan Ubers right away again to counter. We'll have to see how this post fight goes. Xenagos is just on point for free, getting out so much damage.
Adil just walking up the right side as well, does get picked off, and look at all this flame damage on the side of Red Lotus. They're just taking so much damage. They're gonna have Edane go down, Med's getting lower and lower, and look at Ko here just on the roof with that mini sentry, just doing so much delay. I don't know if it's necessarily gonna win them the point, as the bomb does come out here, doesn't get anything. Kaza's gonna be reflected by Ceres, and doesn't really matter though, because Red Lotus just walks up and takes the point, and that was a really solid play from them. Again, I think Red Lotus, where they're thriving right now, is just these dry fights.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know they're coming out of this not just with the point, but with 60% Uber ad. They're going to be able to sit comfortably here, given how passively Animan has sometimes been playing when they've been waiting for Uber or waiting for players. They don't have a huge amount of time here, ticking down below a minute. We want to see Animan try and put some aggression on them while they're waiting this next 20 or so seconds for Uber charge.
That is going to be the flank from Red Lotus wiped, so they have no more ramp control. We'll see if... I'm surprised Animan isn't capitalizing off this a little more. I think are going to have Untamed and co-rotate over, but it's maybe a little bit slow almost. They do have Grill coming over as well, and hopefully getting that support on ramp is going to be what wins them this point, because they need to get that establishment. Grill gets the pick on the on nines! What a play from Grill! That was a really great job from Animan of just taking that controlled ramp, knowing that the spy and the soldier were dead, and just taking control of that whole area. And now they just can take this Uber in, and it's just an absolute wipe. Red Lotus has to get out. They lose way too many players, of course, including their medic, their demo, their sniper, and that just gives so much space.
Massive shot from Grill there on Maleficent as he tries to bomb in to kill Zuero. Grill just picks him out of the sky. And their demo's on a respawn too, so they're coming out of this great Uber from Animan Studios. They got 20% ad, they've got point. It's not pushed into overtime yet for Red Lotus, but they got a while to hold on to this thing, so we'll see how they do.
Now, if you're on the side of Red Lotus here, you're about 20% disad, are you gonna go for a sack, or do you just dry it, or wait for Ubers? How do you play this?
You know, if it's me, I'm saying, okay, we got like more than a minute. I want to take this fight, because if I win the next fight, I'm winning the round. I want to take this next fight with the most advantage I can. I've got time to run a sack wave. I've got time to run 2, maybe even.
Red Lotus has their med drop down, which they're at 95%. They are going to get several picks, though, including Ness and Crump, who have been such key players. And the Uber does come out. Nine's actually dropped with 99% Uber, though. Squid getting great sticky sync onto Nine's there. And that is going to be a pretty clean team wipe, unless Kaza comes in, does the bomb, can't get anything, as Grill takes him down. Grill gets another shot into Fingers as well. Grill just going off in this third round here. Gonna be maybe chased by Janachi a bit, can't get anything. Janachi goes down to Ko, and wow, what a play from Grill.
Yeah, and now Order of the Red Lotus is just, they're not going to have time to build Uber for this half here, and I'm thinking it's very likely going to go over to the side of Animan Studios, unless this is an incredible dry fight.
I mean, look at Crump getting two kills there on Shutter, and Grill gets another kill onto Discount, and that is going to wipe the combo and wipe Red Lotus as a whole. Animan takes that round, and that is 2-1 to the side of Animan. Man, what a half!
And you know, you talked about the pick classes in the pregame, and you were spot on. 1, 2, 3, and 4, all 4 pick classes, both snipers, both spies, topping the scoreboard for frags. Grill coming out with 24 on sniper, Crump on 23, Eden on 22, Benatti on 21, counting down, right? Those pick classes for both teams were just going off.
Yeah, that was, I mean, they were just playing incredibly. I mean, all 4 players, Edain, Benatti, Grill, and Crump, just doing absolutely everything in their power and just getting so many key picks for their team. If you're on the side of
absolutely.
If you're on the side of Red Lotus, what do you think you need to do to get back in this game?
I mean, obviously, you know, this doesn't just apply to Red Lotus, but for both teams, working to shut down those pick classes, you know, if I'm, you know, Ceres on Pyro, I'm going to be spending quite a bit more time trying to check for spy and hoping that my roof players and my heavy can deal with, you know, any incoming soldier bombs. And I'm hoping that my demo can put some more pressure, and my soldier and my spy can, my spy can put some more pressure on the other team's sniper, right? You need to put pressure on the pick classes when they're going off this much. The other thing is, you know, I've been watching Animan take in a lot of Ubers, and the only people I see fighting are Squid and Zero, right? It's those 2 players, and the entire wrestler team is nowhere to be found. So, you know, if I'm Red Lotus, I'm going to let them take those Ubers, and I'm just going to back out, you know? Ceres can deny that, and they're bringing in 2 players to a 9-man fight. You can have better Ubers than that, and I think that Red Lotus has been taking in a lot more people in the Ubers, but really, throughout all 3 rounds so far, the fights have really not been decided during the Ubers. It's been decided in the post-fight, and the post-fights have been where the picks have started to come out, and we see who actually wins those exchanges.
And speaking of those Ubers, Nine's going to have 2 drops in that, as well as that drop towards the end with, I think it was like 98% or 99%. How do you think Red Lotus can be better playing around their medic to prevent those kind of picks? And, you know, dropping Ubers, what can they do to prevent that?
I mean, here's the thing that I would say, and just because it's fresh in my mind at the end, and this comes from me, like, you know, I play Pyro, so that's my big focus the whole time is protecting my med, and my least favorite thing on Asheville is when you drop off bats and you sit at the entrance to under, because it just sucks to try and protect anyone down there. You can have players that are standing directly above you. You have people shooting at you from bats. So I think, one, you know, get the Uber and then walk in. You don't got to walk in early. Dropping at 99% is just something that, you know, in that scenario was avoidable. It didn't need to happen if you just are a little bit more patient, because when you drop down and you just sit there, you're not getting anything done anyways. Right? You may as well just play back on bat still and be protected, right?
Absolutely. I think for the side of Animan, how do you think they, just need to keep going with this? Like, what do you think? Do you think there's anything that they can be doing better? I'm sorry, I know I'm interrogating
Yeah,
you a bit, but
no. It's good. I mean, I think you play around Grill. He's popping off. You try and put pressure on the team so that Crump has opportunities to get in and space to get in, and you just keep doing what you're doing, playing aggressively, taking dry fights when you can. Right? As soon as that first midpoint gets capped, the clock is ticking every single second. So, you don't really want to be wasting any time. And I think they've been doing a good job so far in not doing that and making good use of their time. So I want to keep seeing that. I want to keep seeing the aggressive play. If you have Medic gets a kill on your bingos, Wero did get a kill that first half, so you can mark that off as well. That's exclamation mark bingo if you're just tuning in now. Get a bingo card if you win. Shoot me a message on Discord.
I will say as well for the side of Animan, I think it seems like something may just not be connecting with Untamed there on the flank. Pre-Alpha doing decent with about 300 DPM, but Untamed only getting about 280. I wonder if that's something that maybe they just haven't been allowed to play super aggressive on ramp, or what's going on there. But Mr. Kaza, I feel like, has been a bit more effective with about 318 DPM, with going 19 and 14. So a little bit of a better performance overall from Kaza. I think Kaza maybe had a few more kind of impactful bombs, and maybe I liked the aggressive play from Kaza on ramp as well. So I think for the side of Animan, they really need to try to find out how they can work Untamed into the mix a little bit more to get them more damage, maybe get them a bit more spam out, and see what they can do based off of that. Because I think Red Lotus seems to be taking a lot of damage, and if they can just if Animan can just up that damage a little bit more, then that's going to turn from getting people really low into getting a ton of kills.
Yeah, and speaking of damage, Squid putting out 580 DPM in comparison to Maleficent's 365, right? 200 more damage a minute is a huge gap, right? So I think that, that's a lot of where it's coming from is Squid is able to put out a huge amount of damage. I'm just going to go and check kill differential here between the two teams.
For sure. I have to absolutely agree with you about Squid. They've been playing phenomenally in this first half so far. I think, especially with Maleficent having more experience, there's maybe a bit higher expectations, but Squid, especially with not quite as much experience, maybe not expected to do quite as well, but Squid has just been phenomenal. Again, almost 600 DPM, 11 and 10, 13 assists, just been playing absolutely incredibly.
Yeah, for sure. And, with that damage, if we were to see Untamed playing a little bit more aggressively, Untamed can absolutely follow up on damage. Soldier, incredibly mobile, especially on Asheville as a map, is able to get around really quickly. And so if Squid is calling their damage and is letting Untamed know, hey, they got someone backing out on ramp who's 30 health, Untamed can get in there and pick up some more frags, and I would love to see Untamed playing, more aggressively, much like we saw Mr. Kaza doing, like on the roof or on the little piece of sheet metal that kind of blocks the sniper angle from ramp. Both would be great options for Untamed to be doing, because you get a lot of damage off, you can pick up some kills, but importantly, it gives you a lot of information. You can see if they're rotating players, like their sniper, especially into ramp. You can see onto their bats. You can see a little bit more through shutter when it gets opened up. So I'd love to see Untamed playing a little bit more aggressively on these when they do have the point.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
If you have players trash talking on your bingo card, that has also been marked off at this point. So you can tick that one off too. If during this halftime, it's been a little while.
We're live.
Going for a little long.
All right, Roll's gonna be coming here. Squid's gonna be about the same time as Maleficent, and Scouts both playing aggro. Here comes the bomb from Untamed. Untamed going to be going into the enemy bats, maybe getting behind, playing the long con. Untamed now going in for the medic, gets a direct shot, gets the med very low. Nine's going to be running out of ramp with low health. It looks like Pre-Alpha's going to be finishing them off. However, there's still fight on point with Kaza coming in, discount getting low, and it seems like now with Kaza actually getting 2 kills on Pre-Alpha and Squid. What a great play from Kaza with those double rockets. And now Kaza going in, maybe even trying to get a 3rd kill onto Untamed on bats. Doesn't quite get it, but that is still a huge play from Kaza, and that is going to win them mid-fight.
Some really aggressive play coming out from Order of the Red Lotus. I saw a discount all the way into the other team's shutter.
We have captured the control point.
Yeah, you love to see that aggression, especially on these Astral mids where that's just the absolute best place for the aggression to happen. Let's see, we got Nets coming out of the bats. Nine is going to go down to Crump though. Huge play from Crump, getting the stab, and that is going to be a huge window for Animan to start walking. They're going to be dropping down from bats here, walking through crates. They are going to be denied a little bit by the soldier and the mini sentry, but not enough. And actually, they do get Zuerto though.
Fingers
goes and gets Zuerto.
in.
What a huge play from Fingers, getting the NG of all people, getting the pick onto the medic. That was an absolutely phenomenal play, and that is going to give them the Uberad now. And they're going to be able to hopefully get the point back pretty soon, or at the very least take this dry fight.
That is when you got to put your Royal Guard on your medic. You know, you're taking a fight where they're already down 5 players, they don't have a medic, you have a huge ad, and now, you know, Order of the Red Lotus isn't coming out of this with a lot of ad, about 15%, but that is more than enough in a lot of cases. But we'll see if that gets evened out by one of our pick classes here.
Adele going to be peeking out her shutter here, going to be peeking into the sniper, but Grill actually gets Benatti instead, and actually tons of kills going out here from Red Lotus, as it looks like they're going to be taking the point. They do lose Nines though, as I didn't see what Nines died to, but that is still going to be a win for Red Lotus. But Zuerto actually does get out with the Uber ad, so that's at least going to be a positive for them, as Red Lotus try not to delay their demo. They don't delay and get the cap now, but they are at big dis ad here. So I want to see how they play around this, maybe expecting a sack wave.
It was pre-alpha getting in there with the scatter gun to drop Nines.
Benatti getting a good kill onto Squid there, and Grill going down as well. Edane actually getting a stab as well. And man, I mean, Red Lotus just playing phenomenally. Maleficent does go down to Crump though, doing good decloak from, I think that was the crates there. And Ness peeking out a bit, maybe trying to get a couple kills. Plaza's going to be getting out, and they take the Uber Exchange in, going to be going in on pre-alpha. Gets a lot of damage onto the heavy, doesn't get any kills though, and now it is Red Lotus instead with the big disadvantage. Seems like Animan were using in without really being sure where the medic was. Now the Uber's going to be coming in on Janachi, going to be getting quite a bit of damage, but it doesn't seem like it does get actually Ceres. Doesn't get the medic though, and maybe now a slight disad, but still going to be holding the point is Red Lotus. And that was a very solid refight from them. Again, I think that's where they're thriving, is just those refights. And actually, we can see Animan trying to refight this as well, doing, you know, refights of their own. With the med, actually gets a huge pipe from Maleficent, and the med's going to go down, with Ko, Squid both dying. That is huge play, and that is going to be full ad now for Red Lotus.
Yeah,
absolutely
through
phenomenal.
all of that, Red Lotus manages to pretty much just continuously hold on to the point, which is huge for them. Taking down into under a minute left in this round. If Red Lotus has managed to hold this out, hopefully, you know, they will be able to keep their medic alive. I would be putting the Royal Guard on Nines right now, because that is how you're going to win this round, is by making sure you have Uber for when you need it.
Absolutely. Kaz is playing pretty aggro, getting a lot of damage off the ramp. They're sending Ness ramp from the side of Animan, trying to just get space there. Edan is going to go down as well. See, Sarah's trying to grab Shutter and gets blown up by Maleficent there. This Kaz is going to be going down as well, as Animan does at least gain control of ramp, and they get the force off actually. Maleficent just needs to turn to the right, doesn't see the player's ramp, and that is going to be a lot of the Uber wasted, and now the player's just playing post-Uber on ramp, and here they come, and now Animan just going to be crumbling in on the point. They're going to have, Red Lotus is going to have their medic come out, and they do actually kite it out decently, but still Animan is going to be wiping. We'll see if Red Lotus can do this refight as they do. And here it comes. Look at Adil coming out through the shutter, gets 3 kills. Maleficent going to be getting a kill as well. And that is just an absolute wipe for the side of Red Lotus, and they're going to be winning this round. Adil with the 5k there.
You know, they only
Absolutely
had a
phenomenal.
few seconds left there. They were Ubering basically all the way to overtime. I'm surprised that Maleficent didn't try and trap off point because there weren't any Animan Studios players around it. Ends up
For
working
sure.
out for them in the end.
I mean, I think they're maybe just doing what they do best, which is those refights. Alright, we're going to see Benatti going down right away to Grill. Kaza going to be bombing in, does get Squid. Adil going to be going down as well to Grill now. Grill with the 2k already. And it does seem Red Lotus going to be taking the point a little bit more, but we can see this mini from Ko doing everything it can to deny, and with Animan dropping back down to crates now, and Ness being just positioned there on the crates, going to be getting so much damage off, and that wipes the team. So that was a really great play from Animan, just taking their time and just saying, okay, we lost a player, let's just chill, let's just refight from bats when they get a little more aggressive. And they did just that, got the heavy on the crates, and just refought point again and then won. That was a very great play from them.
Yeah, really back and forth here these rounds. Currently 2-2, right? So either team takes 2 more rounds and they win, but I wouldn't be surprised if we go all the way to 7 rounds and have a 4-3 at this point.
I would absolutely not be surprised. Maleficent could be trying to put some stakes on the crates, doesn't get anything though, as there's no one standing there. We do see Animan's going to be playing relatively passive as they're expecting a sack wave, it looks like. Nines is actually going to go down on the side of Red Lotus, though. I'm not even sure how that happened. I think they might have dropped down from fans. Was that a sticky trap, I believe? Or a sticky spam, even. So that was really great play from Squid, just putting all those stickies out, and man.
Yeah, they are holding here with 100% Uber. They're going to be aggressive. They won't have Ko for this fight, so no wrangled minis off bats or anything right now. And Edan is looking for a pick in the back line, hoping to extend some spawns maybe, but working his way into ramp. As the sack wave comes in here.
Zuedo just playing so passive in ramp, though, and I don't think they had anyone to follow up. And that's sack wave for Red Lotus. I think if you're on Red Lotus here, you need to be a little bit more careful with your sacks and have a bit more location, because it seems like they're just kind of bombing to the enemy side of the map rather than being like specifically wanting to land like in Shutter, for example, or on ramp if the med was over there. So I think if they just have like more calls on maybe where the med is, then their sack might be a little bit better. But we'll see how it goes with the exchange here, as Red Lotus are going to be at 98%. Going to be getting Uber now. And here comes the exchange. Going to be taking it on the Pyro and the Demo. However, Theory's going to be getting great denial here. And Uber's going to be fading about the same time, maybe Red having the slight ad here. But Pick's going to be coming in from Edan, Crump, and Adil, as there's just kills after kills. Huge bomb from Untamed, though. It gets Nines and Fingers. And Untamed going to be in the enemy Shutter. And it does seem like that might be the point for Red Lotus still. But what a great bomb from Untamed, at least getting the Ubers back. And now Red Lotus is going to be trying to tip the point.
Yeah, Adil trying to track down the rest of those players. He knows there's people alive, just doesn't know where they are. But like you were saying before, that the information game is so important here, right? Both when you're sacking in, you need to know where that medic is. You can't be bombing him blind on this map. There's so many places their medic could be holding. And also,
how's going to be going down Grill there?
Part of what Zueira has been able to do and stay alive is because, like, if you know when the other team is planning a sack and you have that information beforehand, we've seen it every single time, is Zueiro kites out into Shutter with Ceres, and it's just so much safer. Because I'm going to assume they know those
2
bombs
kills
are
there
coming.
onto the Eden with a 10k now, 11k with the revolver as well. What a play from Eden, who's just been phenomenal in this half so far, and I mean really throughout this whole game. And
Double-digit
that
kill
was just an
streak.
awkward push from Animan.
Mark it off on your bingo card.
It seemed like they were half committed to doing the sack wave, but then committed like a couple more combo players and just didn't seem like they were very on time with what they were doing.
Yeah,
But,
this is again one of those scenarios where, you know,
comes Uber exchange.
they're wanting to do these Uber exchanges. You have 2 minutes. You can run. You can spend a minute running sacks to get like a really good fight for you. Because again, Animan Studios needs one more cap here. They need to win one more fight, and they're probably going to win the round, right? Don't rush it, right?
Absolutely.
You don't need to take things fairly.
Absolutely. You saw with that Uber exchange, they just went in so awkwardly through the shutter there and just kind of got denied, got separated, and I think the only kind of positive part of that Uber exchange was Ness getting a kill. But now we'll see how they fight this from crates, with Grill actually going to be going on ramp onto Toxic now and getting the pick onto Adil. Going to be Fingers trying to deny with the mini as best they can. Crump is going to get Benatti though, so that's going to be a huge amount of ground that Animan's now going to be able to get with the demo Y peeking onto the mini, and it does seem like Animan are going to take this point with Red Lotus just being down too many players.
Yeah, so Animan Studios looking to bring this in and push it to just a sudden death round for Red Lotus. Both teams have full Uber here, and Discount gets absolutely launched. Nines comes in and gets a flash just to save him at the very end, but unfortunate because it just means they're really not going to get anything out of that Uber.
Huge run from Kaza there, and now they are going to be capping the point. You can see Animan playing very passive on the ramp, trying to maybe just play for the refight themselves. Actually, Untamed gets a lot of damage there, and they're going to be getting the mid as well. Going to be Benatti trying to peek out the shutter, can't get anything though, and Red Lotus are going to be holding the point once again. Edain can't get anything either, or excuse me, it's going to be Animan holding the point again. Kaza coming in, can't get anything off the bomb. Animan finally gets that refight to win the point, and now that I believe it's 3-2 in favor of Animan.
Yeah, sudden death for Red Lotus here. Obviously, they have 2 more qualifier matches, so doesn't mean they are completely out for quals, but you want to win as many of them as you can, obviously. And Animan Studios is looking to close this one up for the night. Discount going to be going down to
Grill there. Untamed going to be getting Fingers on the bomb. Squid going to be getting Edain, and Red Lotus now down 2, down 3, down 4, down 5, down 6. Wow, what plays from Untamed and Squid just getting so much damage. I think Ko's mini as well got the last hit on one of them there. And Red Lotus just going to completely wipe as Animan takes the point here on this mid-fight.
Yeah, they're going to take the point. They're going to take the Uber advantage. We'll see if they even decide to take their bats. Looks like they're just going to settle into their kind of standard semi-aggressive hold here. Squid up at the front, AC 130 up at the front. They got roof players to lock that down as well.
Something very interesting I'm noting, Squid is not trapping off the shutter, so I'm curious to see if Red Lotus can try to exploit that, maybe get their sniper in there or something. They do actually have the sniper on ramp instead though, see if they can get anything. Not able to get any picks so far with Benatti on ramp, but we can see the dry fight getting pretty aggro here as Maleficent walking onto the point. Going to be Nines going down to the Crump though, with a great stab, and Tuerto still with Uber though, and still living, and just with that pick from Crump and then the refight from the rest of Animan, that is going to be a wipe against Red Lotus, now again with full disad.
Yeah, Animan is looking very good here. Time ticks over 2 minutes, and we're still waiting on Red Lotus to put up a fight here and take this point back. Looking very good for Animan.
I give you Red Lotus here, you still just, I mean, they're at 56%, I think they should just be going for the sack already. I mean, I guess they got the demo, but we'll see how they want to play this. Adil is going to go down, Pre-Alpha's going to go down as well, Benatti's going to go down, Untamed and Maleficent are going to go down. They do get the force off, though, in this, I didn't see who it was who got the Uber force off, but, I mean, that's going to now be huge ad for Red Lotus, so very solid play from them, just getting that force out, and, you know, just knowing how much Highlander just plays around Ubers in general. Now Kaza going to be getting a lot of damage on the ramp here. Does eventually go down as well as Edain with Pre-Alpha just cleaning up the damage there. But it doesn't really matter too much as Red Lotus is going to be capping the point. Letting their players, but obviously with, you know, it being Soldier and Spy doesn't really matter. Maleficent going down to Pre-Alpha though, with Pre-Alpha now on a 4K. And it looks like Red Lotus is going to be having to be very passive here. Probably not having their main caller up as well is going to affect them a lot and their cohesion. Crump getting a kill onto Adil as well. Now Untamed getting Edain yet again. And it looks like Red Lotus, they are going to get Untamed again as well now, and Pre-Alpha, so maybe Animan don't have quite as much of a foothold as they would like. And Ko and Grill now going down as well. And Red Lotus just doing a great job of holding strong despite losing players.
Yeah, and you know, right now Red Lotus is at 100% Uber, 80 ad over Animan, but obviously that is ticking down all the while.
And Nines goes down again to Crump.
Out of Crump.
Crump has been playing unbelievably, just getting med pick after med pick. It has been so many drops now. And Animan just going to be walking in again and just taking the point. I mean, when you're Red Lotus, you just have to prevent that from happening. I don't know if that's something that's wrong, like that something's wrong with the coordination within the team, but you know, you cannot have that happen where you just lose your med that many times to the Spy. And now Red Lotus going to be having to go for probably a sack wave here, as they're at big disad. Jinachi is going to go down. Untamed is going to go down as well, though. See, Benatti going down to Crump. Ness going to be going down. Sorry, I know I'm saying a lot of going down.
Cohen
going to be getting sniped in the face by Grill.
Cohen and Pre-Alpha are just locking down that roof. They're ready for the bomb, and Mr. Kaza is just not going to get anything of it, and will die as a result.
Ends in 30 seconds.
I think it's going to be finding Crump there. And Red Lotus is going to be trying to drop onto crates sooner or later. Going to be at 99%, and they do drop down now. With it looks like they want to take Uber on the Scout. Scout Uber is coming in. Squid goes down. Ceres gets blasted into the air, and it looks like Red Lotus do have player add on this fight. They don't have their sniper, but they're definitely winning the point. And yeah, with now wiping 4 players on Animan, with Kaza coming in, getting huge damage, and Maleficent as well getting the damage in the shutter, and that is going to be a wipe.
They
Or
are
at least
going.
most wipe.
They are going to take the point. However, it is overtime, so you know, Animan Studios was able to hold out long enough that all they have to do here is cap the point. They've won their first match in qualifiers here, which would be huge for them. You know, you want to get that momentum started early. They got a lot of matches this weekend, and starting it off with a win is huge.
Maleficent
Grill
gonna
gets
go down
a
from
massive
Grill.
pick off.
And Pre-Alpha coming in as well. Pre-Alpha now on a 7k. Squid getting a pick on Jinachi as well, and it's all falling apart for Red Lotus as they're big dis out here. Edain is going to be getting a pick onto Grill, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as the Uber comes in from Animan. They are going to be using onto Discount, just denying as much as they can, but they don't have any players to follow up on the post-Uber. And Benatti going down as well as Mr. Kaza, and just with so many players, only 3 up now for Red Lotus, whereas Animan have 7, and it just doesn't seem like they can do anything on the side of Red Lotus as they're just wiping too many players. Adil can be trying to fight through the shutter, can't get anything as he immediately gets sniped by Grill, and that is going to be the match in the side of Animan.
GG's only. Animan taking their first W of this weekend, putting them up 1-0. A close match, and I will note, 4-2 for Animan. I will take my channel points, please.
I will take my fat L. Man, Animan just had such an unbelievable performance. I mean, who would you say was your person of the match?
Oh, I mean, you know, it's got to be one of the pick classes, right? I think on Animan's side, you know, Grill was popping off. Crump was doing a lot of work through Discount, even. He was spending a lot of time trying to shut that down. I think I have a bingo winner here, so I'm going to go and check that out real quick. But I would say for Animan, Grill, and for Order of the Red Lotus, Edan.
For sure. I think those pick classes were just all so instrumental in just helping their team out. But I would say my person of the match would have to be Crump, just with how many med picks they were getting and how great of a job they're doing off capitalizing. And I think something that I get very impressed by is just players that make the big plays rather than necessarily just doing well on logs. And I think if there was ever a player that was making big plays, it had to be Crump. They're just getting so many picks. And I think Grill as well would definitely be a runner-up there. Again, with just the picks on the medic, getting all the drops. It's just so powerful.
And we do have a bingo. Kyle has given me the bingo. And, you know, that match went on for a while. I'm feeling pretty hungry. That's why I'm going to go to factor75.com and use the code I get from typing !factor in the Twitch chat. Get 40% off my first order plus 20% off my next month at Factor75. So I'm going to use that code. Don't have to worry about dishes. Don't have to worry about grocery shopping. Don't have to worry about cooking. I'm going to feed my brain and my stomach. And I'm going to take that extra time and spend it MGEing. !Factor. Use our code. Helps us out. Helps them out. Helps you out.
Sounds like quite a plan. And I can't recommend cooking enough. It's such a fun hobby. Anything we want else? Oh, sorry, what?
Yeah,
All right.
checking the logs here. Yeah, Grill.
Sorry about that.
Pick class's top frag on the server. Pre-alpha really came back at the end there on the scout, but Grill 44, 6, and 22, dropping 400 DPM. And Squid dropping 5. You know what? I actually might have to change my mind. It actually might have to be Squid dropping 500 DPM. I know coming in here as maybe a little bit of an underdog, but Squid really showing that they belong in advanced on demo with that performance.
Absolutely. I think we can see from the side of Red Lotus that their pick classes with 43, 37, maybe I guess their pick class for a reason, so it's expected that they would get the most kills, but the rest of the team is just way far behind. Specifically in combo, their most player with the most kills was Adil with just 22 and 30 deaths in the meantime. And it seems like they just weren't able to just like do enough. I'm not sure necessarily what the reason for that was. It seemed like there was a bit of disconnect with how they wanted to play their Ubers, and obviously with the med drops, that obviously deterred them a lot. But I still think that, I mean, overall, it's a solid performance, but it just wasn't enough considering how great that Animan had played for that match.
Yeah, I think if you look at the logs, it's worth noting that both Series and Zuero had less deaths than Nines did, and Ness tied it at 10. So, 4 less deaths for Zuero over the course of 3 rounds, that adds up very, very quickly. So, the pick classes were doing work, and I think that really ended up showing with the final results of our qualifier match tonight.
Absolutely.
I want to do a quick shout out to Fireside Cast for bringing back our Highlander coverage, getting to show off some of the skill across all of our divisions. Normally it's just the invite Highlander players that get to see it. And so, we're getting to see a lot more of the skill that RGL Highlander has to offer. I'd like to shout out the virtual bingo game maker at myfreebingocards.com for hosting bingo for us tonight. Of course, Factor 75 for the sponsor. Gray, you got any shout-outs?
I do have a couple. I would like to shout out just Siyo and Xenagos. Both of you have been just so helpful and just, keeping Fireside together, and Xenagos helping out with just getting this Highlander season rolling and just being so proactive about it. And it's just so awesome to be here. This is my first time casting with Fireside, so I'm super excited to do this, and gonna be doing more production as well. So just super excited, and it's thanks to you guys that I'm able to be here. So.
And if you just can't get enough of these advanced qualifier matches, I know I can't. We're not just covering tonight. Day 2, tomorrow, 9:30 here, twitch.tv/firesidecast. You can come and watch the second round of advanced qualifiers tomorrow, and also on Monday, same time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. They're going to be great. We got 4 great teams all fighting for that last spot in advance. We're going to see who makes it up. It's going to be casted by Watterson, and honestly, 2 big names. Going to be a fantastic cast. Gray is going to be on production, making sure you don't miss a single play. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 9:30 EST, here on Fireside Cast. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a fantastic night.
Have a good night, everyone.